happy?
Yes.
You have to be happy always.
Okay. I'm always happy. I'm a very happy person.
Very good. That is yoga. Yoga is being happy, being peaceful in mind. Not alone doing exercise. Exercise is only one part of 1/8 of yoga. They say exercise is not the final thing. Being peaceful and happy is yoga.
It's good to know.
Okay, let us start. Are you ready?
Yes. Let's
Okay.
do it.
That's good. That's good. Let's start. You're able to see my screen, right? I'm just presenting this. So stakeholders we have done. We were talking about these categories. See, there are certain things that we need to remember. One is how many knowledge areas are there as per BA BOK, that is Business Analysis Book of Knowledge, Body of Knowledge, Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. According to this, how many knowledge areas are there? One of
6.
you, 6 knowledge areas. So, according to the core concept model, BACCM proposes 6 areas of the model, 6 areas of focus, rather stakeholder needs. So this I have explained, like stakeholder has needs, needs will lead to changes, changes will lead to solutions, solutions form the context where you can get the value. So that's how, if you remember this BACCM, business analysis core concept model, and you have 6 knowledge areas, and with these 6 knowledge areas, now we are proceeding to something called competencies of a business analyst. How many competencies business analyst should have? There are 6 categories of competencies. Each competency has got few items on that. So that's how we'll start with this analytical thinking and problem solving skills. There are 7 concepts in that. So the competency is one, that is analytical thinking and problem solving. It has got 7 competencies. Like that, behavior characteristics has got 5 competencies. Business knowledge has got 5 competencies. Communication skills has got 4 competencies, and interaction skills has got 5 competencies. Tools and technology has got 3 competencies. Total 29 competencies are there. 6 categories, 29 competencies. Clear? Ify, you are with us?
Yeah.
Analytical thinking and problem solving skills. What do you think? Analytical thinking. What do they mean by this? Analytical thinking and problem solving skills. So business analysis, when you are talking about business analyst, the first thing that you need to have is you should be able to think analytically. When you are thinking, generally what happens is our thoughts will be biased. One, sometimes, like I was mentioning, the moment you get a question paper, you look at the first question and you answer it. You don't think what would be the right way to answer the question paper. So that is what the difference is. You leave it, you start doing, you get into the solution rather than understanding the problem. Have you got this statement, Fola? You don't focus on understanding the problem. You just jump to solve the problem. Yes or no? Are you with me, both of you?
Is that being creative? Or what are you
No, I am not talking about anything. I am only talking about analytical thinking and problem solving skills. That problem, when you get a problem, what do you generally do? Do you understand the problem or you jump to solve the problem? What is our general tendency?
I try to understand the problem.
Very good. If you are doing that, it's great. See, normally what happens when somebody comes and talks to you saying that I have this problem, the moment they start telling the problem, what do? Our nature, generally human nature, is to solve that problem. The moment you start telling the problem, we just give a solution to the problem. Many a times, the other person may not be expecting a solution from you. They just want you to hear to their problem. But general tendency is to answer, give a solution. So that is where we are talking about. You should not jump to give solution. You should analyze. That is the analytical thinking. You should first analyze. You should understand. You should spend time to understand the problem. What Einstein told. Einstein, you both of you know Einstein, right? Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. Have you heard this name?
Yes.
Ify, I am trying to hear from you also. Albert
No, no,
Einstein. You have not
no.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein was a greatest. He was supposed to be the greatest scientist of last century. 20th century, the greatest scientist was Albert Einstein. He gave the theory of relativity. I don't explain that, but he was supposed to be the greatest scientist of the century. He is the way that he thinks everything. And when I'm talking about Einstein, I'm tempted to give a joke about him also. So one day, one beautiful heroine who was very famous, she came to Albert Einstein. You are such a genius, and I am such a beautiful lady. Can we marry such that we get a genius and beautiful child? You got it? What I said? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what Einstein would have answered, Einstein told, what if we get a child with my beauty and your talent? You understand this? Einstein immediately asked, what if we get a child with my beauty and your talent? So that's where she kept quiet and went. That's a different story. I looks like you are not understood. Have you understood the joke? Einstein was looking very ugly. Einstein was not handsome person. He was looking very
Oh,
ugly. He was looking with all his hair, jiffy and all. He was looking very ugly.
Okay.
But he said she was with a lot of hope. She came. She was top of the world. She was beautiful and doing very well. She was the greatest actress that time, and he was the greatest scientist, genius. So she came to him to ask, why can't we marry and we get a child with my beauty and your talent? So Einstein immediately told, what if we get a child with my beauty and your talent? So that's the difference. Okay. Right. Anyway, that's for remembering
Yeah.
Einstein and spontaneity. And his spontaneity, that is important. Spontaneity is important.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you are getting a problem, the first and foremost thing is the critical thinking that is required. Ability to generate new ideas and approaches to solve problem. That is called is creative thinking. What is creative thinking? Generally, what happens is when a problem comes, that's what I was telling. Why I brought Einstein was Einstein said a statement. He told a statement saying that if you give me a problem and 1 hour time to solve the problem, if you give me a problem and give 1 hour time, I will spend 50 minutes in understanding the problem. I will spend 50 minutes in understanding the problem and 10 minutes to solve the problem. Have you got this? Have you got what I said? Einstein told, if you give me 1 hour to solve a problem, I will spend 50 minutes in understanding the problem and I'll solve the problem in 10 minutes. Have you got this? Fuller, you
yes, sir.
understood? Uh,
Yes.
so-
We're
yeah.
listening.
So the reason is we need to spend more time on solving the on understanding the problem than solving the problem. Solving problem would be very easy compared to understanding the problem. The moment you understand the problem, majority of problems can be solved very easily. That is the idea. Then comes the decision making. Ability to understand. So, sorry, let me talk about creative thinking a little more. Creative thinking, what is the problem is, now suppose you want to generate ideas. If you are in a group, if you are already working in a company, you would know this very well. So your boss would ask, there is a problem, give ideas. The moment you tell idea, he will kill that idea. The moment you tell the idea, he will kill the idea, why it will not work. So generally, this is the tendency. It's not alone. I'm not saying that all bosses will be like that. It is a general tendency, human tendency. The moment I hear some solution, I'll kill the solution. The moment I hear an idea, I kill the idea, stating why it will not work. Then what happens is the person who has given the idea will not give the second idea. So it is very important for people to think. So you should allow people to think and come up with ideas. If you have to get new ideas without any bias, without any judgment, you should list down all the ideas. That's how creative thinking will come. Creative thinking doesn't come just like that. So creativity comes with what you have already seen. It is not from somewhere what you don't have, what you don't have knowledge. So with that, it doesn't come. It comes with what you have knowledge. Around that, your ideas will go around, and you get an idea. Suddenly, there will be a jumping, and from that jump, you will get good idea. You will tell that. Now, if you curb the first idea somebody expresses, if you curb that, that person will not be able to tell you the second idea. Unless you allow people to talk and give multiple ideas, you will not be able to get the list of ideas, new ideas. So first you should list all ideas, and then you need to think whether they are correct ideas or not. Which idea can be taken on top? You can rank them. You can do ranking, the priority, and pick up those ideas, and with that ideas you can get the solution. Second is the decision making. How do you get the decision making? Ability to understand the criteria needed to make decisions. Here also like that only. If you want to take decision, you need to understand all the options that you have and the criteria for taking the decisions. It should be a structured way you should take decisions. It's not like you just jump and take some decision. Instinctive, that is what dictatorial decisions. Some people will just take a decision and say that that's all. We'll do it. It should be an informed decision. Have you heard this word? Informed decision. Have you ever heard this? Informed decision? Follow?
Yes.
So informed decision basically means you have all the information. Based on that information, you are making a judgment and a decision. If you don't have information, if you don't have the knowledge, and you make a decision, then that decision is going to fail. So you should always take all the criteria and come up with a judgment. If you should have the knowledge first to make a judgment. Without knowledge, if you just make a decision, it becomes a bias. Sometimes lot of prejudices come. Suppose if your child and other child, two children are fighting, when you go there to solve the problem, most of the times your decision will be that the other child is wrong. Some mothers will treat only my child is wrong. That's a different story. So majority of times you decide that the other person is wrong. Same way, some people will think always when you have a fight with others, sometimes you submit saying that okay, it's my problem. Sometimes you overpower saying, because if you have the strength, you overpower the other person. These are all biases. When you are making a decision, you should always take care that you don't make a biased judgment. If you think of making decisions like that without bias, you should first think that you are also a third person. You should come out of that. You should treat yourself also as a third person. You should not treat yourself as you. Then what happens is you will neutrally think. You will neutrally think what has happened, how it has happened, what are the options that I have, how do I proceed. So based on that, you will make a judgment decision. You will take a decision based on that. So that's how it is. Any decision that you take, whether it is joining a course, whether it is changing the job, whether it is in your family life, what you want to do. So where do you want to purchase a house? All these judgments you can make decisions when you have the knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you can always consult the experts. There is nothing wrong. If you are open, if you are not biased, you can make better decisions with the knowledge. So informed decision makes a lot of difference. You should understand what is the criteria required for making such decisions. Next comes the learning, ability to quickly absorb new and different types of information. Somebody was asking what is the best skill that you should have. Fola and Ifi, what do you think for getting success? What is the best skill that you should have in any job or in anything that you do? So, if you want to be successful, like what are the skills that you should have? What is the best skill that you should have? Any idea? You can come up with anything. I have my answer. I'll tell my answer. That's okay. You that doesn't mean other answers are wrong. I want to give you one better answer. That's all. So, what is the best skill that you think you should have?
I mean, personally, for me, when I
Mhm.
get on a job, like a new job,
Mhm.
the one strong skill that I start off with is my learning skill,
Yes.
and also team.
Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Yeah,
If
teamwork.
anything, if you have, if
Critical thinking.
yeah,
Thinking.
what skill I asked? What skill you should have in your
Critical thinking.
thinking? You are saying analytical thinking. Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
See, learn ability to learn. Learnability is supposed to be the best skill that one should have. Learnability. So wherever you go, whatever you are given, analytical thinking also can be learned. Learning is part of analytical thinking anyway. So the moment you have the capacity to think, capacity to learn, and interest to learn, basically. So learning is an interest. So if you have an interest to learn and you are able to quickly grasp things, if your learnability is good, you can acquire any type of skill. So when you wherever you are put, you are ready to learn, and your attitude is in such a way that you are quick to learn and ready to learn. So in that case, wherever you are put, you will come up because you learn the skill that is required to survive there. So that is what is very important skill. So learning is ability to quickly absorb new and different types of information. If you are able to get that, if you are able to learn fast, wherever you put, you learn some skill and come up. That's how it is. Next is the problem solving skill. Ability to understand the underlying cause of a problem and use problem solving techniques. Problem solving basically, like what I said, majority of times we are biased in problem solving. First, we need to overcome the bias. So you need to, if you want to overcome the bias, there are techniques that are there. Like for any problem, you can do root cause analysis. So there is something called fishbone diagram. I'll try to show you later how a fishbone diagram, uh, Ishikawa diagram they call. Have you heard this Fola by any chance? Fishbone diagram?
No.
Cause and effect analysis. Cause and effect for every problem. See, the idea is there'll be a cause for every effect. So that's how it is. So when there is a cause, you will check what could be the reason why it has happened. So that's how it is called fishbone diagram. Let me see if I can show you how fishbone diagram would be. You're able to see my screen?
Yes.
This is called a fishbone diagram. This is one type of fishbone diagram. Product quality is not matching the requirements. So then, is it the cause? Then they will check whether it is people cause, process cause, equipment cause, management cause, environment cause, material cause. See, these are all. And each of these are bones. So under equipment, why equipment? Low maintenance, old technology, improper handling. So what is management? Management's commitment is low commitment to quality, environment, bad working conditions, and process, not enough R&D, non-optional manufacturing methods, material, delay in arrival, low quality of raw material, people, lack of training, workers fatigue, because if they are working for long time, their fatigue is there. That's how this is called cause and effect diagram. Now once you have done this, you put the priority, which one you have to address. So all the problems may have to be addressed to get this solution, but you will put the priority for these things and then go with that to finalize the root cause, and you get the solution for that. So now you need to check whether you have low maintenance. If your maintenance is good, you need to knock off that. Technology, you just check whether I'm in the old technology or new technology. Am I handling is good or not? Same way, management commitment, how it is there, can we improve that? Working condition, can we improve that? Like that, they'll think and they'll find out, okay, these are the major problems we have to solve, and they'll solve the problem. Are you clear? Fishbone
Yeah.
diagram, cause and effect
Mhm.
diagram. Yeah. So this is how cause and effect diagram would be. Now, that's how you look at the problem. When you are looking at the problem, you need to figure out what are all the possibilities. What are the possibilities for this problem? So that all causes you should be able to think unbiasedly while solving the problem. You should not have bias. For me, what used to happen, I was in a cement factory. I used to work in a cement factory in the beginning, and I used to get calls in the night also. There could be some problem. They say some hydraulic system, some problem. They would say, I would tell them that you check A, B, C, D, like this. I'll check. Tell them. So they would check, and finally, problem is not solved. So when I go there, also they'll tell, okay, this I have checked, that I have checked, that I have checked. So naturally, what we get tempted, because those guys have checked that, I would leave that and check other things. And finally, when I don't find the solution, I'll go back and check what those guys have just checked. They said everything is fine there. So problem could be there. So that's where I learned as thinking. Whenever you go for problem solving, don't go with the preconceived notion that somebody has checked, so it will be correct. So it is always safe that you check before you come out. You come out with a solution. You check everything yourself, because sometimes that becomes a very, if people are 100% right and they have got an evidence that they have checked it, no problem. It is orally somebody is saying something that everything is checked, and you go based on that. You may end up getting into realizing that there is a problem that is existing which people are not checked. So that's how I would say you should not have bias when you go for solving the problem. You should check everything. You should have your own checklist, how you will check, and then you will come out with solution. Then comes the conceptual thinking, the ability to understand how disparate information fits into a larger picture. You should know the concept, how things will work. So that conceptual thinking should be there. If you have got different pieces all put together, how the solution comes. So you should have that, how this information can fit into a larger picture. You should have overall picture in mind and get all the information. Like what I said, when I go for a problem solving, we keep hearing from different people. You need to fit the information. Either from that also you'll get solution when people are saying the problem. So whenever you go for counseling or something like that, then the counselor spends a lot of time in listening to you, because if you unbiasedly listen to the person, that person will tell everything, and that person will also tell the solution also without even knowing. So if you are open minded, if you are listening to that clearly, you get the entire information, you get the picture of where the problem is. So you should be able to put the information into proper buckets so that you get a larger picture. That's how it is called conceptual thinking. And visual thinking. See, majority of times, anything that is like I showed you Ishigawa diagram just now, fishbone diagram. By just me telling that fishbone diagram, you would not remember. If I go back and show that clearly, so and then explain, you will remember what is meant by fishbone diagram. It looks like a fish. It looks like those bones indicate what are the different problems. So that's how visual thinking, ability to visually communicate complex concepts and models to stakeholders. If I can present it visually, then it becomes very easy for the other person to understand. Clear? Then comes system thinking, ability to understand the interactions between people, process, technology. PPT they call. People, process, technology are the factors that you should think about when you are looking at whether it is people issue, process issue, technology issue, all these things, how they are working, how I can do the improvement. That is what is called system thinking. PPT, you can remember. PPT, people, process, and technology. If you know PPT, you will get better system thinking. So for analytical thinking and problem solving, you have got the 7 concepts: creative thinking, decision making, learning, problem solving, conceptual thinking, visual thinking, system thinking. Are you with me? Ify,
Yes.
I want to hear Ify. I want to hear from you all these 7 points. Can you tell me? Sorry for I'm not. I don't think me that I'm an elementary school teacher. Okay. Hello. You don't good follow. You don't assume me as an elementary school teacher, no?
No, no. Yeah.
Right. I am trying to see because the our major barrier is the communication, especially the internet. I don't know whether you could listen to me or not. For me to get that feedback, I need to ask you for feedback whether you understood or not. If you're there, hello. If have I lost you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, I just wanted you to tell me the 7 analytical thinking and problem solving skills. Analytical thinking and problem solving skills. You are able to see my screen, right? If are you?
Sorry.
Are
I
you able
didn't
to
know.
see? Are you
Yes,
able? Yeah, you are able to see my screen. Can you tell
yes.
me the 7 concepts, 7 competencies rather, 7 competencies under the category analytical thinking and problem solving skills?
Critical
Yes.
thinking.
Creative, not critical. Sorry if
Okay.
I also said creative
Cre-
thinking.
Creative thinking,
Hmm.
decision making,
Right,
learning,
right,
problem solving,
right,
conceptual
right.
thinking, visual and system thinking.
Very good, very good. So you got the idea. I have explained all these 7. Hope you understood how each one would work. Each of them are competencies that a business analyst should have. Especially whenever you are talking about thinking and problem solving, you should overcome the bias within you, need not be outside. Your own biases you should overcome. If you have to go to somebody, normally what happens, for asking, if you are not getting the solution, you keep wasting time on solving that problem when you don't have an understanding. If you can open up and go to somebody and take their opinion, their help, things may become easier. But many times you will have the inhibition, your inhibition, your own inhibitions, rather frigidity to come out and go to somebody and ask for solution. That's where if you don't have any kind of bias, you will quickly go to somebody and ask, how can I solve this problem? So that opening up does not happen many times. If it happens, you will be able to understand problems very well. You will be able to think. The second is the behavioral characteristics. Behavioral characteristics is second category. where the first thing is the ethics. If you have got good ethics, then you automatically earn respect from your stakeholders. Suppose you are on time, you are able to write things properly, you are able to complete, you are able to communicate to the stakeholders, you are able to explain to stakeholders properly, you are able to listen to them, and you are very sincere. By seeing a person, you know whether that person is sincere or not, whether that person has whatever he says can we believe or not. See, people say if you have told so many truths, you are good. If the moment you say one lie, all truths you have told become judgmental. People will start questioning, people will be doubting, people will start doubting whatever you have told previously also. So that's where maintaining ethics is very, very, very important. So if you are telling truth, and if I mean there is no if you are telling, you have to tell truth. You have to tell truth, and you have to maintain truth. It is very difficult to maintain untruth or a false statements. If you lies, it is very costly to maintain a lie. You know that why? It is very costly to maintain a lie. Paula, you got this point? Is it very costly to maintain a lie?
Yes, it's very costly.
Yeah, why it is costly? Because you need to remember what lies you have told.
Yeah.
If you tell a truth, you don't need to remember. It is a truth. Truth doesn't change from place to place, from person to person. So you're told so and so date I have done this job. You don't need to remember. Again, if somebody asks, yes, yes, on that day I have done this job. If you tell a lie, you need to remember what you told person A, person B, person C. It is very costly to maintain a lie. Okay. So if you maintain good ethics, automatically you get good respect. You agree? So ethics is very important for business analyst. Second is personal accountability. Accountability is very important. This enables business analysts to achieve target goals. You know, there's one statement, one small story. So there is a job to be done. There are four people. Have you heard anytime? I don't know whether you have heard. These four people are somebody, anybody, everybody, nobody. By any chance you heard this story, Fola? Don't tell me after that you have told a story which I heard in my childhood. Okay. Sir, there is a story. Somebody, anybody, everybody, nobody. Okay. There is a job to be done. Now there is a work to be done. Everybody thought somebody would do it. You got it? Everybody thought somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it.
That's good. That's a good one.
Got it? Yeah.
Yes.
Just note down that it is very, very personal accountability is, see, anybody could have done it. Job would be there. See, normally we keep seeing that. See, when we see something on the something you encounter, even at home, anybody could have placed that into proper position. So something has fallen down, a glass fell down. You can just take it and put it back. It's not one person's responsibility. But unless it's a majority of times people would see and expect someone else to do the job. So anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. So that's how it goes. So your accountability comes like, I have to do that. The ownership, they say, it is my job. The moment it becomes your job, you will ensure somehow it is done. If you can't do it, you will take help from somebody and get it done. If you think this is not my job, someone else has to do it, gone. It just fails. So when you have taken up a job, that job should be your job. So business analyst, as a business analyst, when you go, you should be personally accountable for that. Till you submit your documents, till you have done your analysis. So generally what happens is when there is a problem that comes from the customer, now if I give that problem to the solution team, What happens? I'm a postman. Somebody told me the problem. I have transferred it to someone else. And in between, I don't touch it. Now, the same thing, if I understand the problem from customer clearly and translate it to the development team, their job becomes much easier and the solution comes much faster. So here you require accountability. Accountability. Here you get accountability because you are trying to understand the problem and translate the problem to the developers. So it depends upon if you have got personal accountability. Now it enables business analysts to achieve target goals. You can easily achieve your goals. Otherwise, it looks like someone else collectively, instead of collectively winning, we collectively fail if we think someone else has to do the job. Right? You got it? So that's the accountability part of it. Now, organization and time management helps perform tasks effectively and use work time efficiently. See, normally we used to call 5 by 8, 6 by 8 like that. If you are working for 8 hours, are you working for 8 hours or not? So generally, it becomes like you work for 5 hours only. Remaining 3 hours, it goes for your lunch, it goes for your tea time, it goes for chatting with others. So not you does not mean you. Fola, don't take it personally. You does not mean you. It is generally people what people do. It is like so. Tea time will go, coffee time or chatting with somebody. So this how it happens. So in organization and time management, work time, if you are able to manage properly, if you are working 8 hours means if you are able to spend at least 7 hours on work, and your output will be much better. Otherwise, it happens like you are spending 11 hours, 12 hours, but you are not giving 8 hours work also. That becomes very difficult. So you are getting fatigue, but you are not giving the output that company requires. So these are all problems. So if you are able to efficiently use your time, work time, then your output will be much better. Next is the trustworthiness. Perception that one is worthy of trust. So trustworthiness means by seeing the way that people behave. Now, any third person will easily understand when we trust this person or not. That means if that person has given you a committed something, he will strive to achieve that. So if anybody is striving to achieve what he has committed, then you will trust that person. So whether the person is trustworthy or not, you will understand by the way that person acts. Now that is very, very important for any deliverables. So when you are trying to work with your customers, trustworthiness plays a vital role. So then comes the adaptability. Adaptability is ability to adjust behavioral style, methods, and approach to the environment. Majority of times you have to adjust to people around you. If you can't adjust, if you can't survive, if you are continuously fighting with people, you cannot achieve your goals. So, have you ever heard which tree survives long? Is it a straight tree, or a curved tree? One which is deformed tree, which is having many bends. So, will it survive for long, or a straight tree will survive for long? Have you heard this statement anytime, Fola? Which tree
Sorry,
survives?
what was the statement again?
Yeah, I was telling which tree survives long. Which type of tree? Tree which is straight, or tree which is crooked. Crooked basically means which goes according to the convenience. It bends, it takes what different shapes. That kind of a tree survives long, or a tree which is straight will survive long.
So you're asking which is longer, a
You know,
crooked tree?
which survives longer. Survives means which stays for long time,
Ah,
which survives longer. See, when a woodcutter goes into forest, which tree he cuts first? Crooked one or straight one?
You want to, I don't know. It depends
He
on
cuts,
who.
he cuts a straight one, not crooked one. What does he do with crooked one? He has to he has to straighten many things. So if a tree is straight, he cuts that tree first because that will be useful. Straight tree, so he can do many things. So a crooked one basically means a curved one may not be used. So that's how when you are flexible, you are adapting yourself. The rate of failure, the rate of getting cut will be very little. Suppose you are straight, you are not changing. You are not talking to people. You are not changing your methods. You want to go the way that you want. You are not moving. You are not understanding the environment. In that case, for you to survive becomes very difficult. Are you with me?
Yes, so I have a question.
Yes, please.
I'm just thinking right now on
Mhm.
this adaptability. Like, so let's say I'm interviewing for a BA, and then
Mhm.
the interviewer is asking me a question. Like, they post a question to me, and they give me a kind of environment, and then they
Mhm.
want me to tell them what behavioral style or method I have
Mhm.
used. Adapt to that particular environment. So I wanted you, based on your many years of experience at
Right.
interviewing, and all that, what kind of question would you pose to somebody you're interviewing, and what kind of answer would you expect? Wanting to test their adaptability competence.
Right. See, the moment if it is a hostile environment where
Okay.
people are fighting with each other, so surviving in that environment, understanding in that environment. So what first thing what you need to know is the moment you go there, if you start fighting with them, you end up nowhere. For anything, first thing, if you want to adapt to an environment, you need to adjust to that environment first. You need to understand that environment. What I used to do majority of time, see the moment we started our career in the beginning, so we were very young. We didn't know much. Only thing that we were was that we were technology, the education wise, we were superior. Nothing else. We were put into an environment where others' education was very little, and but they were very aggressive. People were very aggressive. But how do you survive in that environment? The only way that we could survive was we were just obedient. We were submissive. Initially, I was not making any fighting with them. I was just submissive, waiting for my time, kind of thing. Slowly, wherever it was possible, I was trying to teach or use my abilities to convey that I was worthy enough. Slowly, people started. At least you need to look at the weakest possible weakest link in that. So where you can just get in. That means you need to know somebody will start appreciating you. If you wait for little time, someone in that group will appreciate you. So the moment you are committed, you are knowledgeable, and you are adaptable. Basically means you are not fighting with them. You are not fighting with people. You are adapting to environment, but still you don't lose your focus. Your goal should be there because majority of time we lose our focus. I can't do anything. I'll this environment is like this. We also start creeping outside at the third party, saying that all the people are not good. This environment is not good. All that we keep telling. Then if it's a failure, it should not be like that. Keeping your goal in mind, if you slowly start uh, getting into the system, understanding people, getting approaching from the weakest person, slowly you get people around you. Moment people start seeing your value, everybody will follow you, and that's where you need to start contributing. First, you need to get the grip of the situation. For getting the grip of the situation, you should wait for the opportunity. You should be patient enough. You should understand the entire environment. Then automatically you can get into the system. The moment you get into the system and you are still focused on the goal, when you start delivering, your people start seeing results because people may be hostile, but everybody wants to survive. Everybody wants to achieve something. So that is the fundamental rule. So you need to, the moment you start showing results, you are not greedy about getting the reward for you. If you are able to help others to also to succeed, automatically people will be around you. You got it?
Yes,
Follow.
so okay. Yes, I do now. So I'm just okay, I understand what you just said.
Mhm.
So let's say I was in an environment like sometimes when there's a resistance to change,
Yes,
and
that's a
then
major.
yes, and then you have like you're working with a group of employee that they're kind of old people.
Mhm.
They've been used to doing things manually, and I'm just thinking of an example. They've been used to doing things manually, and now the organization is thinking to go do some automation. And so you see that the team you're working with, they're people probably old people.
Yeah,
They don't want to change, right?
yeah, okay.
And so as a business analyst, so my behavioral style will be patience, or just or what would I is it patience? I'm just trying to think about the different behavioral style.
I will give you one more word. Have you ever heard empathy?
Empathy, okay, yes.
What is empathy?
Well, empathy is unlike sympathy. Empathy is, try to, and maybe wrong. Empathy is when you try to feel for people what they're going through, even though you haven't been through that same experience.
Right. You put yourself into their shoes.
Shoes,
That's what
yeah.
it is. You
Okay.
put yourself into their shoes. You just imagine you are an old person. You are with that experience, and you are now struggling to change. So to change to the new system, people will definitely say, "I've been doing this. Now I can't learn." The moment you go with their understanding and say, "I also felt like that, but it is not that complex." You should, if you understand that how where they feel complexity, then for you to make things easier to them becomes easy. For you will be able to make things easier to them naturally. So that's what you need to look at. So
Thank
how I can make, yeah, see, if I used to tell people to make cheat sheets. Have you heard this word? Cheat sheet. CHEAT. Cheat sheet. Very simple 5-step method. So if I have to log into a system, I'll put a white paper with 5 steps. How do you log into a system? When we were doing software implementation in the beginning, some people used to say, "My mouse is not working." So I used to go to them, nurses and all, no? They were putting their fingers on the hard part of mouse. Mouse will have hard part and 2 keys, right? You understand that, no? When you hold the
Yes.
mouse and you put your fingers straight, 2 fingers straight, what happens? They'll be putting 2 fingers straight and they will be pressing. They are pressing, putting lot of effort on the hard part, not on the keys. They're saying mouse is not working. So I used to go to them and teach them how to hold the mouse, how to fold their fingers. I used to tell them, don't put tension on your fingers, fold your fingers. Then it becomes easy. The moment they fold their fingers and put the effort on the keys, that those 2 keys, left and right, the 2 buttons rather on the mouse, then it has become easy for them, right? So that is what you need to. This is only example. Don't think otherwise. Okay,
Thank
you need
you.
to think.
Thank you
You
so
need to
much.
think.
Yeah.
You need to think from their point of view, and you need to observe where they are finding it difficult. So old persons definitely will have tension. So their fingers, their hands, everything will become tight. Now you need to teach them how to relax. Do you drive car? You should be driving the car, right?
Yes.
You're driving the car, no? Initially, when you are learning the car, when you learn the car driving, when you learned, how did you hold the steering wheel? Steering wheel, you will hold it very tight, right? Do you
To
remember?
my hold it to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you hold it to your chest.
My
The
chest.
steering. Today, how do you hold it? Steering
So
wheel.
I don't even hold it sometimes.
With one hand.
With
Hold
one
it.
hand, yes.
One hand
And
casually hold. So that's the difference. That's the difference. When a person has to learn, so that's the difference. Initially, they'll be tensed. With the tension, you put lot of energy on a place where you don't need to put energy. The moment you get the skill, it becomes casual. You don't hold it. So we say art of living. Art of living is art of leaving. Leaving. You got it? Art of living. If you want to survive, if you want to be happy, you should know how to live. Leave. So if you are able to leave things, if you are able to freely hold things, you live much better. So if you are able to have that empathy on the person and understand from their perspective, it becomes very easy to teach them. Are you with me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Use this
Yes.
word in all your interviews. You can use this word called empathy. People will appreciate you.
Yeah, that's a very strong word. Thank you for that.
Welcome. Welcome. So there are 5 behavioral characteristics. I'll ask you only, Fola. Can you tell these 5 characteristics? Behavior characteristics.
You have the ethics, the personal accountability, of organization and time management, trustworthiness, and adaptability.
That's right. So we have come across two categories: analytical thinking and problem solving. Next is behavioral characteristics. We'll go to the third one, business knowledge. What is business knowledge? Business knowledge is your understanding of the business, and you should know how that business works. Many a times, that's where I said business analyst. If you don't know that business part, you should at least be good analyst. So then automatically you will learn. You got it? You can use this also in your interviews. If somebody says you are in a new business and how can you be a good business analyst, you can always say, if I don't know business, I am at least analyst. I can learn. Got it? Paula? For you only
Yes,
this word.
yes.
So you can always tell that even if I am not a good business, if I don't know the business, I am at least a good analyst. I can always learn business. That's not a problem. Right, now comes business knowledge, business acumen. Acumen basically means business acumen is ability to understand business principles and practices and apply them to work. First is understanding what is this business principles and practices, what is happening, and how you can apply that to your work. That gives you business acumen. Acumen, you cannot just become a good business guy, business person, unless you have that acumen. Acumen is sharp eye and a willingness to use that. So once you observe that, once you understand how you apply that, that makes a business sense. So that makes you having this business acumen, how you apply that into your work. So that's how it is. Now, any skill that you acquire, how you apply that in your day-to-day life is the acumen. Acumen is that only. So now you heard the word empathy. Yeah, wherever you see, if you are able to apply your mind and be empathetic, suppose there is anybody, a disabled person. So if you are able to empathize them, not sympathize. Sympathize, you should be very clear about these two words. Showing sympathy and showing empathy are different. So sympathy is you are just saying by seeing them you feel sorrow and give some money or something and you forget it. Empathy is you are feeling as if you are that person. That is empathy. So empathy is totally different from sympathy. Now, if you have that empathy and you are able to understand how things are happening, you are able to apply that knowledge. Anywhere you learn anything, that if you are applying, that is what is acumen. So, business knowledge, if you understand business principles and practices and apply that to work, that is what is called business acumen. Understanding how a company is positioned within an industry is industry knowledge. So you should also have one, how this company is working, two, how this company is doing in the industry. Suppose I am talking about healthcare industry, how a hospital is performing, what are the trends of the industry, and how this particular hospital is compared to what industry is doing. So you need to know the industry knowledge. So then only you will understand how this particular company is positioned. So for that, of course, you need to read literature, you need to understand what is happening everywhere. So all that you need to do, magazines, and you should subscribe for, you should attend conferences. So then you will know what is happening in the industry. Industry, the knowledge is wide, so much in the world. So you cannot acquire all the knowledge. At least some knowledge about a specific industry, at least you can always make. Right. Organizational knowledge. Organizational knowledge is understanding the management structure and the business architecture of the enterprise. So you should know how your organization works. One, if as a business analyst, if you are handling the customer, you should know how that customer's organization works. You should know how your organization works, how the customer organization works, and whom to meet for what kind of information. You cannot go to an attendant and expect him to give you what is the organization strategy. When you go and meet the chairman of the organization, you can always ask about the strategy. When you go to the operator of a machine, then you should ask how that machine works. When you go to a manager, you can ask how people work. So like that. So if you know the organization structure, your approach to them will make a lot of difference, and you know whom to approach for what kind of information. So you will have better idea about your stakeholders. The same way within your organization also, if you have a problem, how to escalate that problem, you will know if you have the knowledge of the organization. Right. Now, solution knowledge, understanding solutions that will help expedite the discovery of potential changes through elicitation. So, solution knowledge is, now once you get the requirements, you should understand the requirements, and you should also know how those requirements can be achieved. So, the same way, that is what is you should know what is the solution that you are going to give for any changes that you are bringing. See, especially project basically means project has somebody's needs are there, then requirements come, and you should know how you can provide solution for them. Generally, you go for product implementations and other things. With your product, how you solve the problem of the customer is the solution that you are going to give. So for this, everything you should be able to listen to them, listen to the customer very well. If you listen to them carefully, you will get a lot of solutions. You should understand the problem first. Methodology knowledge. Methodology, have you heard this word methodology?
Question on solution knowledge.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So I think I've had used an example in the past. So for solution knowledge, this is a terrain that I'm very new to, this particular business. What are the different methods I can use for elicitation so that I can, come up with a solution, like talking to a subject matter expert, or what are the different tools I can use?
Yeah, for getting a solution, suppose if you don't have knowledge of what you are trying to do, you should come back. Especially as I said, if you are suppose you are deploying ERP. Now you have faced a problem. Your first thing that you should do is understand the problem thoroughly, because that is the elicitation that you have to do. You should understand. You should get the requirement correctly. Now, once you understand that properly, you can come back and you can go to the developers or your project manager or whoever can give solution. You can discuss with them thoroughly about the problem. Suppose you are not understood, what happens is that to and fro's become too much. So you go to your manager will ask some question. Again, you have to go to the customer to find about that, and then you go back and inform them back. So this to and fro becomes too much. If you have understood thoroughly, you will be able to answer the questions that come up from the developers or project managers or whoever from your end who can answer, who can give you a solution. Now, once you get that thoroughly, once you have understood the problem and you go to the right persons, you get the right solution. So the same thing you should be able to communicate. Is it okay?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to drive out, what I'm trying to establish right now, because you see, I'm going through this process of trying to get to be a certification, but
Okay.
because I want to be able by the end of this program to know what are
Mhm.
chances, what I can, the kind of skill set I can leverage on. So, for example, now talking about solution knowledge. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking if I see like let's say a job posting like an investment banking and the
Mhm.
and the project is say for example they want to expand their portfolio, kind of switch to a new system to manage their investment portfolio for their clients, and they need a
Okay.
business analyst. Someone like me,
Mhm.
I'm thinking I won't have a good chance, but I can leverage on my 30 years of professional accounting experience if the
Mhm.
project was implementing a new ERP. So that's
Mhm.
what because I will function effectively with solution knowledge because I have background I'm leveraging on. And that's what I'm saying. So when you said like when I asked you the question the first day, and you said as long as I have analytical skills,
That's it.
BA skills, I don't really need to have the business knowledge. But right now we're
Yes.
talking about solution knowledge, and that's
You
why
don't
I'm
need to have,
excited.
you don't need to have solution knowledge to get a solution. You don't need to have solution knowledge. See, what is knowledge? There is a good definition for knowledge. Remember this also. It is knowledge is not knowing everything. Knowledge is not knowing everything. First, note down that sentence. Very, very important.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you, and that's why I said, can I engage the a subject matter expert?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's why I said
Knowledge, yeah. Knowledge, you put this word anywhere interviews, if you want to put, you put this statement. Knowledge is not knowing everything.
okay.
Knowledge is knowing where you can get the information. Knowledge is knowing where you can get the information that is required. What information and where you can get it. If you know that, that is the knowledge. Today, we are a lot of children are much better placed than us because the moment there is a question, they search in Google. You also search, I also search. See, I am not afraid today, even at this at my age, I am not afraid that I don't know something. Because if I don't know something, within a minute I'll search in Google and I go prepared. You got my statement. You understood what I said.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I do.
So you should always say, anybody asks you, how can you give a solution without knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
So now my statement is knowledge is not knowing everything. First statement. Second statement is knowledge is knowing where I can get the information. If I know I have a person, SME subject matter expert or my project manager, I'll go to that person and get the information. I go to Google and get the information. Only thing that I need to have is I should not have my prejudices. I should not be in my shell. I should come out of my shell. The moment I come out of my shell, world is wide. You got it?
Yes, thank you very much. I mean, these are very useful responses to interview questions that I'm trying to pull out from you. Thank you.
Right, right. Thank you. So now methodology knowledge. Methodology is what? How you want to do a job is the methodology. If you are doing a project methodology. You want to follow the processes. That is called the methodology. So it enables a business analyst to quickly adapt to and perform in a new environment. Wherever you go, I told you the methodology that you need to follow. So wherever you go, you need to know what is the structure, what are the templates used, what is the process there. You need to understand that. If you understand the steps, the methodology that is used, and the knowledge of that, then it becomes easy for you to adapt. So you should understand. So that is the methodology knowledge. So now business knowledge, there are 5 elements. If you are there or you are lost, if we
Yes, I'm
are you
here.
there, want you to tell me these 5 business knowledge before we close.
Business acumen,
Right.
industry knowledge, organization knowledge, solution knowledge, and methodology knowledge.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we have some more which we'll handle tomorrow. So are you fine, Fola and Ify?
Yes, thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Enjoy your yoga in the morning.
I enjoyed. I already did yoga. My time is already 1 hour yoga is over.
Okay, all right. Bye.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Good night.